Many viewers who are thinking of buying their first EV worry about how to charge it. I'm Dave. Welcome to Dave Takes It On. Questions like, which charger network should I use? What plug does my EV have? Do all EV chargers have the same plug? Do I need an adapter? How long will it take? Well, let's see how easy it all is. I've been driving and charging my Tesla for over 4 years using both Tesla Superchargers and all the other major networks throughout the UK. Today we look at how to charge your very first Tesla Model 3 or Model Y at a Tesla Supercharger, whichever variant you have, be it new or used, purchased or leased, privately owned or a company car. Well, forget for a moment how you find your first supercharger. We'll cover that in a separate video about how to use the Tesla app and the main display in your car, what they can do. When you arrive at your very first Tesla supercharger, there are only 4 possible models of chargers you will ever see. The V1 or version 1 is so rare you won't see one. The V2 is instantly recognisable as it's the only one that has 2 cables and 2 plugs, both of them different. The V3 looks almost identical but has only a single cable, while the V4 looks totally different but again only has a single cable and plug. Every single Tesla Model 3 or Y ever made or yet to be made will be able to charge at any Tesla charger. It's really that simple. Any supercharger will be instantly compatible with your new Model 3 or Y and will happily charge there. So first worry over. Stick to the supercharger network for your first session and you will never have a compatibility issue. Is it getting easier for you? Is your mind settling down a little bit? Well, which side of the car is the charging port on? Well, Tesla make that really easy too. Every single Tesla ever made or likely to be made has the charging port on the left rear corner. It never varies. That also means that in the vast majority of superchargers, you'll need to reverse into the charging bay. And they help you there because most of them, to stop you bumping into the charger, have a bump stop strip in front of it. And when you do stop, you will then find the charger itself at the rear left corner of the car and the cable will reach. Now that you're in the bay, you can just get out the car. No, there's no need to touch the main display, no buttons to press, and you don't need to open the app that you have on your smartphone. Just go to the charger and you will find the charger has either 1 or 2 cables with plugs as described earlier. If there are 2, use the top one. Obviously, if there's only 1, choose that one. Now look on top of the plug that you have in your hand. There is a push button moulded in and marked with a circle. Press that and your charger port flap will pop open and the socket will unlock. The lights will turn a bright light blue and there'll be an audible click. Simply take the plug. It has a round bit at the top and a sort of horizontal figure of 8 at the bottom. Can only go in one way. Push it into the socket gently but firmly. You'll hear another click confirming that it is fully inserted and now locked. Then the lights will turn green. Might take a few seconds, but you're now charging your new Tesla for the very first time. Now the system is fully automated, so you do not need an RFID or contactless bank card or even need the app. Plug in and you're charging, nor will you need it when you finish charging. When the battery is at the correct state of charge, full enough, and there's more on what is the correct state of charge shortly, then press the same button and the charging will stop. There'll be a loud click, the lights will turn blue. Simply remove the plug and return it to the holster in the charger. That's it, you're finished. Well, before you can ask what about the payment, how do I pay? It's probably already been done. When you collected your new car, you will have been asked to install the official Tesla app, if you haven't already done so. Included in all the details that you enter will be a payment method. You cannot avoid this. Get a Tesla, get a payment method added to your app. But don't worry, it is as secure with Tesla as it is when you swipe or insert your bank card at the supermarket, possibly even more so. Tesla is a computer company and takes security really seriously. So when charging is finished and you unplug your car, The car and the charger together will calculate how much electricity you've taken, and that will be charged to your debit card, your credit card, or your direct payment method automatically. And that completes your first Tesla Model 3 or Y charging session at a Tesla Supercharger. Yeah, surely it can't be that simple. Yes, it is. But of course, you do have that Tesla app. You also have that large main display in the car, and you have only used a Tesla Supercharger. So let's have a quick look at what you need to know about these issues for your first charging session. We have that app on your smartphone, so what does it do? Well, it has a myriad of uses, but here we're only looking at charging, so let's stick to that for now. Other features and functions will be covered in other videos. Keep an eye out for them. So we start with the app. What does it do for charging? Now, we'll stress again, you do not need to use it, but if you do, it can do many things related to charging. First, if the button on the charger plug does not work and your charger port flap does not pop open, the app has a release button on the screen. You can use that instead, as does your main display. But the main purpose of the app is to monitor and regulate the charging session. When your car is charging and you open the app, it shows that your car actually is charging, and it shows the charging speed. That is just for reassurance. You can't change the charging speed, but it will be fast, so there's no need to worry about it at this stage. Then it'll show you the limit you have set as to how full you want your battery to be at the end of the charging session. Now, this can be a really confusing issue for many people, and you will hear lots of different opinions. Well, let's keep this really simple until you get a bit of practice. The easiest thing to do is to treat your EV exactly the same as you did your old petrol car. Remember, 99% of people never ever fill their fuel tank right to the very brim on every single visit to the petrol station. They only do that when they're going on a long road trip. Most people just put in 20, 30, 40 pounds worth, or whatever it takes to get you through an average week. Why carry all that extra fuel around? So on your first charging session, don't plan to fill your battery right to the top, or 100%. It will be considerably quicker if you just top it up to about 70 or 80%. That will give you plenty of range for the week, but more important, it will be the fastest charge you're ever going to get. Batteries slow down their charging speed as they get close to full, and the last 20 or 25% heading up towards 100% will take absolutely ages, maybe anything up to an hour, for an extra 30 or 50 mile range that you probably don't actually need. Most of us only cover about 140 miles a week, so why not once a week just top back up to the 70 or 75% limit that you started the week with? That's a good habit to get into while you get used to your car. You can change that later if you wish, and many people do change it. But that's not for your first charging session. So in the app or on the main display in the car, make sure that the charging limit is set to read in percentage for this first charging session rather than in miles. If you're in doubt about this, check your handbook. It's easier to deal with percentages at this stage. So you can change that later as well if you want to. So set your charging limit to 70, 75 or 80%, whatever you're comfortable with. Your app can now calculate how long your car needs to charge before it reaches that limit. It's important because if you go off, leave your car, you will receive a penalty called an idle fee once your car has finished charging, but you still leave it there, blocking the bay for others waiting to charge. When your app or display says you are at the limit or very near, then unplug, and if you're not ready to set off, simply move your car off the charging bay, free them up for others. Well, that concludes this first charging session video. I hope it has been of interest to you. If you don't yet have your first EV, it might encourage you to take the plunge. And if you've just bought your first one and you're putting off or afraid of tackling that first session, I hope I've made it easier. It has been made as simple as possible by Tesla. Just go and have a go. I'm Dave.